Now we're going to look at a sort of very horrific example of when food production has been controlled by the state, what sort of things can happen. And of course, the Holodomor, or the famine we're looking at, was not exclusively a result of the fact that food production was controlled by the state. There were bad harvests, weather, loads of things contribute. And historians disagree about the extent to which they contribute. However, it basically does seem like the USSR's control of food production did in some way make this particular famine we're going to look at a lot worse than it might have been otherwise. So the year is 32 to 33, and we think that well over 5 million people starved or died from malnutrition-related diseases. And as I say, it's to different extents, depending on different historians you read, but is largely blamed on the state control over food, but specifically poor decision-making on what to grow. And this is one of the key themes that I want to get across today, is that farmers know land. They know their land very well. They know what kind of thing grows well and what kind of thing doesn't grow well. They know what grows well at certain times of year and what doesn't, and what grows well in certain weather conditions and what doesn't. What grows well if you leave it in the same field for 2 or 3 years, and what will not grow, and therefore you have to do crop rotation time, growing crops in different fields. Farmers have a lot of that knowledge themselves, whereas the state, the USSR, wanted lots and lots of wheat, for instance. And so instead of, before the government controlling production, when farmers might, yes, they might grow a crop for cash, for income, to sell and have income, they would also grow some crops for their village or for themselves. Whereas one of the main reasons in this famine was the state saying you need to grow a lot of wheat, because in Ukraine, which is what is now Ukraine, the area where most of these people died in the USSR is very good for wheat production. And so the government were essentially saying, you need to grow loads and loads and loads and loads of wheat, and putting massively high demands on farms to produce wheat. And as a result, then when there were bad harvests of wheat, and also wheat was still being taken away from the area to give to the Soviet army or to sell, to raise funds, for instance, then people had essentially nothing else to eat. Okay, so that's an example. I'm going to talk more then about what the opposite might be.